All right, let's see here. Already got some people watching. Wow. Well, hang on. Let me tweet the link out and get started. And beautiful day, so I'm gonna stay inside and do some live streaming. And yeah, just looking at it. All right. Yep, everybody's talking. Okay, tweeting that. And I guess I can begin now. Yeah, so this is just the 9-volt. Oh my god, the chat. All right, settle down, folks. I'm gonna be talking about boring stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of crap that I have amassed over the last couple of years, and I thought I would do a live stream to just show off some of it. Oh my god, this chat is gonna be so distracting. All right, let me get rid of the battery. I'll show you the one I recently showed on Twitter, the Yap box. Let's see. I noticed it's not working correctly now. Ugh. It's like I have to like squeeze the box. So I'll probably have to take this apart. There's got to be a way to hide the chat. Hang on. Yes, thank you. Hide that chat. I just want to see what I'm doing. I don't want to see what everyone's talking about. So yeah, so to retell the story a little bit, I was looking at a PDF of an old like gag gift catalog called Things You Never Knew Existed But Can't Live Without. And I saw this was like one of the listings, and I couldn't find any information about it online. And it claimed that it made 6 different sounds, and I wanted to know what the sounds were, so I bought it on eBay, but it was not pre-made. It was a little electronic educational kit. So I got out the soldering gun and I put it together, and I'm going to show you what's inside, if at all possible. There's no screws, it just snaps together, thankfully. There's a different 9-volt. Just want to be careful. Can't just take this off because I installed this line out there, but yeah, I soldered all those components in. Beep, beep, boop, boop, pop, pop. They're all working pretty well, considering I think this was probably manufactured in the late 80s. And at the risk of it falling apart, here's what the other side looks like. Here we go. Yep, I had to put tape over everything because the speaker... And I love these keys. It's nice little gray keys. All right, well, that one's been demonstrated enough. I want to move on because I have a ton of stuff that I've never shown anyone in my collection. And I'll start with something that I did like last night. I've had this sitting in a box for a while. If anyone remembers these like dollar store stocking stuffer little pianos, I actually have the proper one. I don't have it. It's all taken apart, but the other ones looked more like this. They would just have basically the white keys, and you know, they come with a little music flip book. Do I have that flip book somewhere? Digging through a literal box of junk. I can't find it. It's very cute. I think these are all made in Taiwan or late 80s. But apparently at some point, and they still make them apparently, but they decided to do a sequel with the black keys and with a little metronome. which I think is a pretty neat feature. Okay, can turn it off. And it sounds like this. I remember these all over the place when I was a kid. Anyway, I did some circuit bending. I added features to this keyboard last couple of nights, and I'm really proud because this thing is tiny, and I was amazed I was able to fit these in there. Because if you look on the inside, it's there's like, these are a little more slimline, these linear potentiometers, and this button I had to bend the things all the way over. It doesn't quite close the way it used to, and I have to kind of stuff these excess wires. But let me show you what the features do. If I can get it all back together. Ugh, come on. I made a mistake. Batteries are falling apart. Well, yeah, let's just see what it looks like on the inside. Need tweezers. Don't know where my tweezers went. Get that in there. These little hearing aid batteries. I'll very carefully put this back on. This rubber. Thankfully it's not made out of like the kind of rubber that falls apart and turns into dust after a while. This thing is basically in mint condition. I don't break it. Okay. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Okay. Probably as good as it'll get. Anyway, I added this button when you hold it down. It mutes it, like mutes it, makes the notes short. This knob changes the length that it gets shortened to. Very actually useful. And then I have just a good pitch knob, which is always useful. And then this, I can just touch it with my thumb. So that's pretty nice. It's not super glitchy or anything, but there is one neat thing you can do. If you turn on the metronome there, you can make some interesting little clicking noises. Hope that's even audible. I don't know if I could put a line output on this, but I don't know. I'm happy with how that turned out. I'm not going to mess with it much more. Let me start with I guess the sound effects that kind of led me down this whole rabbit hole over the last couple years in the pandemic. When I was a kid, a lot of toys, mostly like laser gun toys, would come with these 8 sound effects. You'd squeeze the trigger and they would play them in a certain order, and it was just like that one, that one, love that, telephone, nice, so good. I'm doing that again. Machine gun, and whatever that is. this is loud as hell, this thing. I have been carrying my keys on this recently. Has 3 batteries. Some of the competitors had just 2, these little keychain guys. But before I even bought this, I was on like a mission to find out what the origin of those sound effects was. Um, uh, because to my mind, they were a musical composition, one that was extremely ubiquitous and of an unknown origin. So I approached it from that um, perspective and became obsessed with tracking it down as a sort of media mystery, I guess. Here's like one of the really cheapo knockoffs. Same sounds, but only 5, and they don't sound as good. Um, but my search involved a lot of like searching years and looking up YouTube videos of various toys, and occasionally buying them just to find out whether or not they had those exact sounds. And I kind of like tracked the earliest um, examples of it to a toy called the Revenger. Now, this is not the original Revenger. This is a later iteration of it. The original version was um, pitched as something you'd put in your car, and it was this little dashboard box. And it originally only had 3 sounds, but if you light it up super loud, I'm going to cover it up a little bit. Like those are the sounds. Those are the ones. Those are some of the sounds anyway. This came out in I think 1987, and it was like a sharper image success, I guess. It was profiled in some news articles and stuff. It was just some small like American novelty company put these out, and as you can see, they're like very basic looking, although they have these nice things. And I'm trying. I can't pull it out of the box right now. Hang on, because it's attached to a bunch of other crap. I got tangled up with some yarn. Um, there was this other product that came out around the same time. I'm not totally sure which came first, but I think it was the Revenger. This one was put out by the more established Gemi company. They did a lot of Halloween stuff. I was taking it apart. This also had 3 sounds, and they're the same sounds. Anyway, opening this up, I can't open this one up right now, but it was basically the same little black blob inside all of them. There was no specific chip. I was wondering if, it was like, is there a chip? You can find they made the chip later and sold it to anyone who wanted it. So there are, I forget the specific code for the chips that make those sounds, but earlier back in the 80s there was no chip. It was just a black blob with hidden electronics inside of it, an integrated circuit without the little box. Anyway, where is the Revenger 2? The Revenger 2, coming off the heels of the Revenger 1, has all 8 sounds as we know them. Photon, machine gun, that great bomb. Sometimes if you can pair them. Anyway, as far as I know, these products are where those sounds came from originally. I've been meaning to get in touch with the guy who made them. He's still around. But I suspect the sounds were actually designed by someone working for the what's it called? The Taiwan circuit. It's still around. It's a major company in Taiwan. In the news quite a bit. I'm pretty sure they make electronics for war now. But here's another war example. This came out, I think, the following year, like '88 or something, and it uses mostly the same sounds. Hang on. So this one I modified. I added a volume because it's so loud without the volume. There's like a big honking speaker on this thing. Must have driven parents nuts. But this one has a couple different sounds. It's got, first of all, it's got some ones that, oh my god. Ones that only trigger once. It's got this helicopter. It's really cool. I don't know. I really like how this one turned out. Gotta fix that, kind of sinks in. Let's get the screws in. I'm not gonna open it up right now. But yeah, these triggering systems like this and the Revenger are very fun. I have another, where did I put it? Oh, where is it? It's right here. I have another Revenger 2. This one is missing a button. But this one I modified. It's got a line output, a volume, a couple of pitch changers, and some finger contacts over here. One of them speeds up. Oh, it's not even showing on my phone. It speeds up so fast. These little things, they go super fast. That's acceptable. Second knob doesn't always do anything. There we go. One of the things I did to this was I like patched the system that controls the lights into the system that controls the sound. So this little blinking light effect actually is kind of doing that, making that stutter sound. Gotta be so careful with these volumes. I don't want to show you how loud this thing gets. Apparently back in the day, people used to actually put these in their cars, and they would modify, they'd add line outputs, and they'd put a big like megaphone outside of their car so they could blast other cars with the sound effects, which is crazy and awesome and probably illegal. All right, so I got all sorts of other knickknacks and odds and ends. What would be fun? Some of them I've modified, others I haven't. I'll show you one that is not strictly a sound effect machine, although it does make sounds. I grabbed this off of eBay. So Tandy, aka Radio Shack, did make their own knockoff of the Revenger that had, 6 buttons you could play. And it was called like an executive, I don't know, fuck you or whatever. And but the same box, same exact looking wood panel thing, Also is the executive decision maker, and if you turn it on and hit the ask button, it's, you know, just a more annoying Magic 8 ball. But I love this thing. It's technically an occult device, I would say. But comes in handy when you need to make an executive decision. What else? What else do I have in my bag? I have something that doesn't work anymore, I don't think. Let me see. This is old. This is, I think, from the 70s. And it's a bicycle siren. Is this still open? Yeah. So I did add knobs to this, trying to get it to be a fun. Let's see if the battery's just dead or something. Fun circuit bending experiment. Oh yeah, you're supposed to press the button. But does it work? No, I don't think it does. Something happened. I'll have to open it up and figure out what's wrong. But it totally worked pretty fine, and again, it was a super loud one, so I put a volume on it. I just love how it looks. This would be a nice cosplay prop or something. All right, putting you back. Don't have a bicycle. I think there was definitely a bike siren that used the 8 sounds chip. Or there was a couple. There might have been like a Batman one or something. 1989. Oh yeah, the second part of the Revenger saga is the keychain versions, which came out a year or two after the car dashboard versions. And these were like a massive fad for a hot second. They were, you know, confiscated in schoolrooms. I found these news articles that talked about reporters on the '88 presidential campaign. They loved these things. They always had them. They were goofing around with them a lot. Supposedly, I think the creator of the Revenger mentioned that like George W. Bush or something used one or something like that. But these were a little bit before my time. But if I had been in school at that time, I can only imagine the chaos. Who's messaging? I'm hearing noises. I'm hearing cats too. My cats are bothering me. Let's see. I have a couple bird-related items. This has no name. I saw it on eBay. It's from the 70s, or maybe early 80s. Made in Hong Kong. Would soon become made in Taiwan for these kind of toys. But let me see what's inside of it. Oh, come on. I have two cats. Come on. Need a flathead? Where's the flathead? There we go. Oh, that's out. Just a little sticky. So I, at some point, was trying to put a knob in this thing, but I couldn't find a good effect, but I want to show you what it sounds like. This one was so loud, I turned the volume down semi-permanently by putting a resistor on the speaker. Oh. As you can see, it's kind of delicate. Once it's all screwed together, well, whatever. Turn on the switch, and it just constantly makes this chirping sound. And some of the buttons don't seem to work. None of them do. Doesn't do a lot when you press the buttons, but it does kind of change the chirping. Let's see if I hold it together. Yeah, there you go. So useless. But again, it was a cheap used toy on eBay that I couldn't find any information about, and I wanted to know what it sounded like. Let's see, I definitely have some fun options. The stream is currently titled Sound Gizmos, and that is in reference to the Sound Gizmo. This is kind of the best item I have. I don't even want to modify it. This thing is pretty cool, and again, annoying. This is like something that drove parents crazy back in the day. I lost my, oh, here's my one battery that I'm using for everything. But this thing is, for some reason, this thing is associated with Howard Stern. He apparently had one that he would use on his radio show a lot. I'll just leave that off. But thankfully it comes with a volume. Put everything at the middle settings. So what's fun about this is it's kind of pre-circuit bent. You can turn the speed way up until it becomes its own tone. Some of them are just white noise. Can't do a lot with it. Who made this? This was made by Fun Dimensions, and they actually made a toy train, so that's probably what this started out as, was an experiment in making train sound effects that became its own thing. Here's the tone. Changing the volume actually changes the pitch a little bit. That's the beauty of the battery system, I guess. Sounds so cool. Got some nice bass. The ones with speed and pitch controls are pretty cool. All right. The most I would do to this is add a line output so I could record it directly. But there's something nice about the little speakers on these things. So I'm not sure, you know, if I'm recording these for a song or whatever, I always have both options. Why does this not work right? There we go. I'll get a similar item, similar looking item, same basic shape. This I have not modified. I couldn't really find, I've opened it up and messed around with the inside, but I couldn't find much fun to be had with the circuits. I don't know. But it's also annoying to test because in order to play this, you have to blow into this hole. That's the fun of the toy. I'm going to try it out. Oh, God. Turn on the volume. That's pretty loud. It's so hard. The sounds are great. But you get lightheaded playing this thing. It's got modes where you just blow and it automatically plays a song, I think. It started over. And it's also got this vibrato thing, which you just touch. So basically like the same thing that I put on this. Same principle where you're using your own flesh to... The designer, I should say, of this specific toy has a website. Her name is Julia Trucks, Truch, I think, Sess, something like that. And her career is like all bangers. She designed this. She used to work for Electro Harmonics, making these like very classic drum synths. And I think I have. She like pivoted to toys at some point. I think this is one she may have designed as well. And let me turn it on. Where did I put it in this? It makes sense not to just leave batteries in the toys when I'm not using them, but then I forget where the battery is. Okay. Switch this on. This one does not get very loud. Oh, okay, it does. Those sound the same. That one sounds pretty good. Down a little. Yeah, Pragmatic Designs Incorporated. That was, someone asked if that was her company. These are all algorithmic sound effects, which means they're not samples that are, encoded. They're produced by electronic principles, and this does have a circuit inside, but this is like just before toys started to include those kind of pre-recorded samples. So this is late 80s, where everything was kind of bleep bloopy, and there was not so much a lot of like talking toys, or like a laser gun would use a square wave based thing versus a sound. So when you hit shift, these are all very basic sounds, but they're produced very dependably. And this feature where you like make your selection and then you hit the pad to assign it is also pretty advanced. So some pretty cool design work in this thing. And I have into this model, I have like this large version. I don't know if you can't see the thing, but it's the Playtime Beatbox. This is like the same stuff. Oops. And I'm not gonna, it's the same exact sound effects, but love the colors, plastic colors. Let me show you the other desktop drummer I have. I actually found this model in person at Savers. I couldn't get it to work. Then I found the same thing, but this time with a Radio Shack thing, and the volume is not the switch. The on-off switch is this, so sounds pretty cool. And it's got a snare decay, so you can do the triggers are problematic though. if you look inside, they look nasty. And this one came off. And I tried soldering them back together, but it doesn't quite work, so I will look into like replacing. They're just little like piezo sensors or something. Piezo, I don't know. But the phaser sound, turn that down a little bit, has a range. So you can do a little. And what's awesome about this, it's just a toy, but it's got like velocity sensitivity. Pretty neat. Pretty neat for a little Radio Shack gift. I don't know how much this would have cost back in the day, but look at these fat boys. Look at those capacitors. By the way, I don't really know much about electronics. I am a total amateur in terms of electronic theory. I kind of have a basic handle on some of it. I can, you know, I can troubleshoot stuff a little bit, but I am not one of those master circuit benders whose work you can find if you Google circuit bent items. But you know, I'm not trying to create like these crazy glitch products. I am mostly just trying to expand on the capabilities of these toys a little bit in the hopeful, you know, theoretical future where I might want to perform or record these. And even if I don't, it's just a very fun, pretty cheap hobby. Let me get one of the few mid-90s items I have. This is a Beetleborgs, Big Bad Beetleborgs. What time is it? I'm going to have to go in like 10 minutes. Big Bad Beetleborgs, a successor to Power Rangers. I did add a pitch thing. What I like about this laser gun is it's got a keypad feature, and this probably originates in whatever Super Sentai show in Japan. There's actually a Japanese version of this toy that's more of a sensible silver gray color. Why are you making all these sounds? Anyway, you can quote unquote make 1,000 different sounds with this toy by punching in 3 numbers and hitting input. So each number has a different sound. That one's just that. That one's that. That one's that. So if you hit, it does all 3 in a sequence. So it's kind of this cool little sequencer. And you can make really neat, I don't know, you just hit. Could probably make some pretty awesome, I don't know, percussive. I don't know what I could possibly use that for, but it's interesting. It's totally unique. What else do I have before I run out of time? I feel like I was saving something. Oh, the Axlon bear. This company Axlon. I have the bear here. I got it cheap because this was broken. The sound. People love these things, and it's so hard to find them with working voice boxes. They were a Teddy Ruxpin competitor made by one of the guys from Atari, also created Chuck E. Cheese. This one, they claimed the problem with it was it had a broken battery terminal, so that's very easy to replace. And I did it, and it was working just great. I'll show you in a minute. This thing doesn't actually talk like Teddy Ruxpin. Their cheaper idea was, what if it speaks bear language? So when you talk to it, it talks back to you in this cute little beep boop language. Now I have to find my mysterious battery. Here it goes. Okay. But oh, sounds okay right now. Yeah, hey there, little bear. Oh, you're so cute. I love you. So I got it working, and it did not do that horrible crackling sound effect, but then it was just laying down, not making any sound, and suddenly it started making this horrible interference sound, and I have not figured out what the problem is. I just got this in the mail a couple days ago, and it is actually a very cute concept. I let my 5-year-old daughter play with the bear when it was working nicely, and she thought it was adorable. She would talk to it, and it would kind of talk back, and you can imagine what it's saying. And the sound of it is pretty neat. When it was glitching out on me, there was a moment where it was just playing the uninterrupted siren that it uses as the voice, and it was just this kind of woo 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 kind of sound that it just kind of turns on in response to your voice in little snippets. I don't know if it's exactly based on what it hears. There's a little microphone here. But I was watching commercials for this thing, and there's this hilarious interview with the Bushnell, the Atari guy who founded this toy company, Axlon, where he always smokes a pipe, and he's just talking very seriously about his like toy design. I don't know, fun bit of history there with that dude. Hopefully I can get that working properly, because that is actually a cute toy that I don't necessarily want to use for Sid from Toy Story. Uh-oh. Lost connection for a second there. Hope everyone's cool. I just got this one in the mail today. And okay, it's got its own battery in there. This thing is ridiculous. I don't know. All right, this is 1980 by T-Mac, made in Hong Kong. It's a songbird. It's got 12 different notes for some reason, but this is what they all sound like. I'm going to cover it up a little bit. So it's like almost a musical scale. And I think it maybe came with a little songbook or something, but at least the way it's sounding right now, it's not very... I mean, you can kind of play music with it. I'm going to open it up right now. See what the hell is going on inside this guy. And then I'm going to leave. Go get my daughter from school. Oh my god. Need a smaller screw there. That one's the same. It's these older Hong Kong toys that they're all just kind of the same thing. They're just some sort of like siren chip or something, but they're very interesting and weird. Okay, it's these little feet that I gotta deal with. There's a smaller screw in there. I don't have my... Can probably get it. No, I'm not feeling it. Okay. I think this will work. For the first time, we're going to look inside this bird together. Not making any progress with those guys. I know I have like a little screwdriver set somewhere, but oh, you know what? Maybe this is. If you look inside there, can we see it? I can see like a row of resistors that are probably all doing something together. It looks very simple on the inside, just like resistors and capacitors and... Oh, I think I did manage to get one of the screws out. So this, I don't know if you can tell, but I am pulling some metal scraps off of these. I don't want to ruin them. I don't want to strip the screws too badly. But as you can see, like with most of the toys that I take apart, I leave them open. And I have a pile of screws somewhere. I don't finish what I start. That one's... Glad everyone's enjoying me struggling with the toy here. What am I missing here? Why is this not opening? Could it be glued? They really don't want some sort of industrial espionage measures. This wing here, oh, kind of comes off. I don't know what's keeping it shut. Oh, there we go. What's in the bird? A little more. This will be worth it, I'm sure. Oh, come on. Well, neither of these are out all the way, but they're out some of the way, which means the screwdriver's working. What time is it? Do I need to go?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Just rip it.
Just rip it?
Just
No.
rip it.
Oh my god, this is the big finale and it's not
Why
not
didn't
happening.
you pre-unscrew it?
I wanted this to be, it's like, you know, Geraldo looking in Al Capone's vault.
There's nothing in there.
Wife? They're all saying wife.
It is I.
Wife.
The wife of your life.
That's true.
Uh,
All right.
This isn't one of Darcy's, right? This is
No,
something
no, I
Darcy
just got
did.
this. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, oh, oh!
There we go. What treasures? Look at this. Ugh.
Okay. You have 8 minutes. I'm gonna look over your shoulder while you do this.
Okay. So, I can just pull this out. I'm gonna see what's under the songbird. Oh, look at that. It's like a old treasure map.
There's just paper in there.
Ooh, that's nice and shiny though. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Circuit.
Love the circuits in
It
this.
looks like malachite or something.
Yeah, that's a weirdly beautiful circuit
Like
board.
a jewel or a gem.
trigger it? Did I do something? It's not making noise now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there is a little chip there. It's made in Malaysia, NE556N.
Bold of you to specifically work on a bird.
Let's see, sometimes if you just do something like that. Oh, cool, that right off the bat. Sounds pretty good. Right?
Yeah, sounds great. I have loved listening to this for weeks.
All right, well, that's enough to prove to me that there is some cool stuff I can do with this. And
can I ask you an interview question before
yeah.
we leave?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Neil, do you plan to incorporate any of these doodads or gizmos in any upcoming musical projects?
Yeah, in theory, I would really like to.
It would be cool to do just like a tech, daft punk, slight techno album with this kind of stuff.
I guess so. Or like an Aphex Twin style.
Record all these beep boops onto a looper.
A looper?
Onto a looper, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, as you can guess, these are kind of treacherous sounds to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of them trigger my hindbrain flight response. Like I have to get out of here.
But you can get some cool effects by like pitching them down a little bit, adding some distortion. I'm looking around to see if there's any other cool items. I have one more thing I could probably show off, which is called the Music Major. I'll clean my desk later. This thing is by VTech.
Oh, those are the people that made Darcy's like little toys.
Yeah, they're still around. And this one actually does have like a robot voice. But my favorite thing about this is one of the instruments. One of the instruments is a human voice singing Do Re Mi. Yeah, it's super weird, right? And this is actually like mid 80s, and it's way more advanced than a lot of other toys from the time. I'm not really sure what's going on the inside. The volume button's all messed up. Usually when I turn this on, it's super loud and distorted.
What does it sound like if you just play something? When it was the voice effect, it just sounded like Radiohead. Fitter, happier, more productive.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is comparing it to like Vocaloid, and
I have never listened to Vocaloid. What is that?
It's like a text-to-speech singing effect.
Oh, is that Hatsune Miku?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Can you do the Imperial Death March for me quick?
I don't think you can. I think it's...
No, you can do it.
You can't do black keys.
Oh, there's no noise. Okay.
Yeah. Can't have the exact notes we need.
All
anyway.
right, you have a 5-minute warning, Neil.
Let me think. I think I've got all the... I think I might have a couple more items that are just in pieces right now. But I'll leave you with... Do I have to open this? Does this have a battery in it? I'll leave you with this Goosebumps game that someone gave me for Christmas. Put the battery back in it. No, wait. I got 2 different Goosebumps things. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. This one is just like a, it's like a tiger game. It does have some voices in it. It's pretty neat. But a different friend got me this last Christmas. Hilariously, I got basically 2 different talking Goosebumps game things. This is the Scream Machine. I'm going to cover it up a little bit because it's loud. It vibrates extremely loudly.
You can't scare me! No, dude! Reading is a scream! Goosebumps. He's still walking! He's still stalking!
I think the concept with this is you can you program a sequence of sounds and then you hit play and then it vibrates and it plays back your desired sound effects. I don't know who thought this up, but I'm so happy to own it. Look at it. It's got the whole gang, the hamster, Slappy, the mud man, a little bit of water damage, but it works. Works great. 1996. I haven't opened it up and looked inside, but I feel like this might be a pretty good thing for... See, the problem with opening it up is you'd have to go through the sticker. So I'm a little hesitant because I don't like to affect the artwork. But yeah. I have nothing more to say. I have nothing more to show. So I am just going to turn off the stream and hope you guys enjoyed it. Goodbye. Gotta unscrew my phone from the thing here. Goodbye.